Hey, welcome back here. We're Beer Yeast Beer Reviews, and we also got Tasting with Dave. Look at this here.
Yeah.
We have here a complete polar opposite when it comes to Samuel Adams Company. We have here, I'm tasting the Samuel Adams Porch Rocker, and my buddy Dave here has the Samuel Adams. Go ahead, Dave.
I've got the cherry chocolate Bock from the winter sampler pack. It's matter of fact, it's notched here on the label that it's best before May of this year.
And we both went ahead and poured our beers prior to going live with this video because of the sheer fact that we were just in a little bit of a chat together, and we decided to, go live with this because of the sheer fact that, number one, it's both by the same company, and two, I mean, the effect from the aged Sam Adams that, Dave has was just phenomenal.
It's absolutely fabulous. When I first opened this bottle, I told Scott, I said, wow, man, I wish I was on a live review because the aroma, I don't remember it being this much cherry and this much chocolate and this much roasted malt. But I'm gonna pour it into the glass right now. Scott's already got his poured out. This is pouring out a very beautiful ruby color. Just lovely. Now this is a, correct me if I'm wrong, Scott, I think this is a 20-ounce glass. Am I correct? The Sam Adams is 20-ouncer?
That should be a 22-ounce glass, and yeah, I've got a couple of those.
Yeah, 22-ounce glass. So this has produced a really good tan-colored head, about 2 fingers or so. You can't see it on the camera, I'll tell you right now, but it's a really beautiful ruby color here at the edges and on the bottom. Look at that lovely head on there, Scott. I bet you were salivating for one of these, right?
Man. I'm actually hoping that they do that again. When I did my review of this beer, I let people know. I said, I went back and forth with Sam Adams on their Facebook page last year. It was probably, about this time of year. I went ahead and I messaged them. I said, hey, it's probably February, March era. I said, why don't you come out with a beer with the essence of cherries in it? I said, because of the fact that, that especially in like either a chocolate beer or, either that or in their Bock, I said, it would add just a little bit extra. And to my delight, they were like, oh, well, they posted it up. I followed the picture, from the labeling being okayed. And then they said, okay, well, we're going to put it in bottles. I didn't know if they were going to do it in kegs. I never did see it in kegs or anything. I don't know if they actually gave it out as samples at the brewery at the time. But just for them to be able to take an idea that I suggested was just, it was kind of like mind-blowing. And then to see, your reaction, just your reaction, was just amazing.
I tell you one thing too, Scott. I want to say this while we're on a live hangout to everybody who's watching this or will watch it. I think that you can see by Scott's background there, I don't know anyone who reviews more Sam Adams beers than Scott. There's only one other guy that I know from Facebook, but he doesn't really make the reviews. He just drinks the beers. So I got to give kudos to Scott here. Scott's if you want to know about Sam Adams beer, if you want to know about the Boston Beer Company, you should check out Scott's channel, Beer Geek Beer Reviews. Am I right, Scott? That's what it is, Beer Geek Beer Reviews.
That
check
is.
him out. Check him out on YouTube, man. Because if you want to know about Sam Adams beer, this is the go-to guy right here. And I'm not making that up. It's no BS. I'm not getting paid for this. Believe me. I'm not running any commercials on here. I'm not getting any money for it. Check out Scott's channel, man. He knows about Sam Adams. Look at his background. He's got like 3 beers back here that aren't Sam Adams. What? Everything else is Sam Adams.
Right, right. I mean, but what I was talking about, especially being complete polar opposites, I mean, you have a chocolate cherry Bock from their winter sampler pack that came out in the middle of, I would assume, December. But at the same time, I'm sitting here sampling on their porch rocker. It is a limited release, just as yours is, and this one came out in their spring pack, and it was just like, well, I thought it would be a good idea to be complete polar opposites because of the fact that this one here is light and bodied. It's got a lemony presence. It is just biscuity. It's light. It's very, spring, summertime, especially when we here in northeastern Ohio had just had a couple of 80-degree days, and it was just like sweltering.
Yep.
And this is the type of beer that you would just go out and mow your grass with, do females, males alike, do their gardens with, and sit back on their porch or just lay out in the grass, suntan, whatever. And if you want a refreshing drink, pop the cooler, whatever. Enjoy a nice light shanty.
And the one thing I like about Sam Adams, now I know I said some things about Sam Adams in the past that weren't really flattering, but the one thing I like about Sam Adams is they have a consistency. You know that when you open a Sam Adams beer, you're going to get some good beer. Might not be the best beer you ever had, but I'm not going to knock Boston Beer Company for that. Always has some good consistency, though, and they always need some good lacing here. Always got some head that they maintain. Your beer looks good, just like mine does, so... Yeah, it's always very consistent. And that's the one thing I like about Boston Beer Company. And
Right.
I was disappointed this weekend. I was down in Scott's neighborhood, which is about 65 miles from here. Didn't get an opportunity to have any beer with them, and I guess that's my fault because I came so late in the day. So we're getting to enjoy a beer together right now here on YouTube, or rather on Google+. So, yeah, very good.
Yeah, I mean, anytime that we can get together and have a beer, I mean, it's always a plus. I mean, that's what I enjoy about, doing these hangouts, doing it, being able to record not only the expressions, but our feelings about the beer or the product that we as reviewers can get a chance to get our hands on. Now, I know, how should I say this? I've looked up future outcomings. They also have a double black, I believe it's a double black lager coming out. They have, remember when I told you that it was the double Pilsner? It is now reiterated, and they're now calling it the original Imperial Pilsner is coming out.
Yeah.
And they have some wonderful beers in store for us for the upcoming months, and I'm very excited, being a Boston Beer Company fan as I am. But it's just nice getting together, with friends, family, etc., being able to sit here and have a beer, 60+ miles away.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I look forward to finding the Hopology 12-pack in one of my local stores here. I've been unable to find it. And that's one thing I talk to you about a lot, Scott, is how I live in a major metropolitan area in Cleveland, which is a lot bigger than where you're at.
Right.
I can't find half the beers you have, man. What's the story? I don't get that distribution stuff,
I don't get it either. And for what I understand is that there's two parts to the distribution that we have. One is considered to be that clears from the bottom of me to Columbus and maybe below Columbus, and then the other half, which is the eastern or western part of the company, completes the north half. So I don't know. I mean, we'll figure that out. I've messaged them a couple of times and asked them, and they still haven't replied to me. But I've asked them, why is it so different from store to store to store to store?
Yeah.
But not only that, but at the same time, why is it so different from my area to your area?
Yeah, like 1 hour away. What's up with that?
Right.
1 hour drive.
I mean, I've sat there. I've got the Hopology IPA pack already. I went ahead and found their Latitude 48 deconstructed pack already, and you haven't found any of those up there as yet.
Not yet. Not yet. But to be honest, I don't drive from store to store to store. But the Giant Eagle that I shop in is a relatively large store. It's a 24-hour store, and they have 3 aisles of beer, 3 refrigerated aisles of beer.
Nice.
And then they have the center aisles that are not refrigerated. And that's where you find the Sam Adams bombers, if you will. But you would think a store that big would have some 12-packs. And I was there Saturday, and they didn't have it. Yeah, so.
Well, this is another thing that I would actually imply to the Giant Eagle franchise themselves, because of the fact that Giant Eagle franchise is really big here in Ohio.
Yeah.
Now, if I can get in contact with them, I would actually suggest to them to do maybe even the mixed 6-packs. Because of the fact that if they could break down a 12-pack and, you know, put them on shelf and say, okay, for a mixed 6-pack, it's like 10 or 12 bucks. I mean, they're still making their money if they're going to single-price bottles, or whether they're just going to offer up a 6-pack in a set price.
Yeah, it's funny you would mention that, Scott, because the store right downstairs from me here, it's just a very small, locally owned store. It's got 2 locations. The guy does package Sam Adams 2, 2, and 2 in a 6-pack.
Right.
So, and he doesn't sell them for a profit. He's $9.99, which
Well,
I think is reasonable for a 6-pack, the split.
Right. I mean, even if they would get in an abundance of a select beer style, per se, or a select beer brand per style, I would love to see them break them down and offer them up in mixed packs, whether it be 6-packs or 12-packs, and offer them up at a competitive price, or a price per se towards the industry or the brewers themselves, or the companies. I mean, because a 12-pack of Sam Adams down here can range anywhere. If it's on sale, it's going to be like $12.99.
Yeah.
If it's not on sale, it's going to be like $16.99.
That's about what it is up here, about 14, 15. Yeah. But we have so many more taxes than what you have in your county. It's crazy. But, you know, that's why I was excited when you told me about the Hopologies, because if I can get 6 different beers, 2 of each. You know, I've been looking for that since you told me about it, and I just can't find them anywhere. I just, you know, if I really set my mind to it tomorrow after work, I could probably find it. But I'm going to have to either go on the web and search, or I'm just going to have to drive from store to store, because a lot of times if you call a store, they never answer the phone, man. It's just,
Right.
they're too busy or whatever. But anyway, I see you finished your beer. You see, this is so rich and chocolatey.
Oh, it is.
This is so rich and chocolatey, Scott. You know, I've said this on my beer reviews before, anybody who watches. This is like a digestive. This is the beer I'm going to have to finish the evening. And that's what I'm going to do with this beer. Man, I don't even really want to finish it, because when it's gone, I got to wait till next, November?
Hey, whenever they release their 12-pack again, if it's going to be in there, because I don't know if they're going to redo this style or if they're going to bring back the original chocolate bock.
Well, hey, I don't want to hold you up. If you want another beer, go for it. If you want to stay on here, I don't want to, you know.
I mean, we can go ahead. We can have our, natural chat. I just wanted to get together with you and be able to do a, review with 2 polar opposite beers, but at the same time, I mean, they have their places, and yet they're so flavorful.
Well, I have to tell you, man, I'm taking really small sips of this because I'm trying to preserve it. Yeah. So anyway, it was good hanging out with you, and we can do an off-air chat. But this was a great beer, the Cherry Chocolate Bock. It was in the winter sampler pack. It was amazing, and I don't really know what the alcohol by volume or the ABVs are. I didn't really. Matter of fact, it says here on the label, if I switch this light on, you got one there. What is it, bro? You got your. I can't quite focus on it. I can't quite see.
Comes in at 5% or 5 point. Oh, there it is. It's 5.8% alcohol by volume.
You know what? I wouldn't have guessed that high. I would have said around 5.1. But because and I always say this on my videos, as you do as well. You got to be careful with these kind of beers if you're out drinking, because they'll catch up with you.
That they will.
Well, anyways, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it. And,
thanks for coming along. And as always, man, drink amazing craft beers. And you can find us both here on YouTube.
Peace, pros, deuced, and all that other good stuff, right?
All right, man. Thanks a lot for coming along, man. I'll see you again later.
See you on the flip side. Cheers.